Yo, what's up everybody? It's Drewberry and it's a quick update today. Normally on patch days, we cover data mines. It's one of the things that I like to prioritize on this channel, so definitely snap subscribe if you're into the data mines. But this patch, we didn't get a whole lot. It was kind of lackluster, to be honest. I mean, we got some cool balance changes. I'm sure you guys have seen it. I'm going to go over to snap.fan and later on in this video to show you some of the spotlight cache weeks that are going to be coming up, so stay tuned. But you can find a lot of details about the entire patch there, balance changes, whatnot. Really, the biggest thing was Spider-Man getting changed to a completely different card, which is actually kind of sick. I'm here for it. But we did get some news and some changes to some previously data mine cards that have yet to come out, so I thought I'd cover those. And I want to talk about ELSA here, ELSA BLOODSTONE. So ELSA has been confirmed to be the October Season Pass card. Right now, she's a 1/1 at the end of each turn if you are winning this location +1 power. I genuinely don't think this is actually going to be her effect when she actually is released or is properly data mined. We'll probably get more details about this card on the next patch. But for right now, this is what we have to work with. She has one variant, so, you know, definitely in the works. I imagine this might be the Season Pass variant, time will tell. But her stat line could change and her effect could change. The reason I'm thinking that it's going to change is because we have cards like Nebula and Kitty Pryde that are kind of doing similar things to this, but with way easier conditions to meet. I mean, you just match this up with Nebula. Which one are you putting in your deck, right? We already know in Snap that winning this location is a difficult condition to meet. You look at Galactus, right? A lot of people are like, oh, they ruined Galactus, stuff like that. I don't even think he's the worst case scenario of this type of effect. But you look at Crossbones as a card that never is played. It's like one of the least played cards despite having a premium stat line because the condition is so restricting. You have to be winning a location to actually play the card. So you have to be winning a location that your opponent knows. They know you want to win this location to get a residual power increase on this card. So they're going to counterplay by like playing their powerful cards at this location, and then you're just constantly competing for one location just so you could get +1 power per turn. I just don't see it. I don't see what the point is in running this in your decks, putting this in your decks. I'm giving it a 1.5 stars because maybe there's some shenanigans with like Storm and you lock them out and then you're getting that +1 power per turn. But again, why are you not running Nebula? Like of course, just run Nebula. So like, what are some other synergistic cards? I don't even know. It doesn't have an on reveal ongoing or anything like that. I was thinking maybe like the Zoo list, right? Kazar maybe. But even then, that's such a late game burst of power. You play Kazar and then Blue Marvel and Onslaught or whatever else you got going on. And then your cards become powerful. You want ELSA to be paired with something really strong at the beginning. I was thinking like Ebony Maw, Lizard, anything with high power total. But even then, it's just like, man, why am I trying so hard for +1 power per turn, which can be easily countered by either my opponent playing cards or Killmonger. So anyways, that's ELSA. I'm sure she's going to change. Stay tuned. I also have a little bit of custom card action at the end. So if you guys are into that, definitely stay tuned. I have a new challenge for you all. But let's check out the cards that were changed. And the first one is Loki. Now, not much has changed about this card, but when I talked about this in the data mines, I got it completely wrong. I don't know why, but I thought just for like an awesome, really powerful, good effect for a cool character that if you had an empty hand, you would get a full hand, like a full reload. That is not the case. I was totally wrong. So the actual effect is on reveal, replace your hand with cards from your opponent's starting deck, give them -1 cost. When I do these data mines, it's like very quick takes, right? I get home from work, I put this together, boom, we go. And for some reason, replace just didn't trigger in my mind. But of course, that means the amount of cards that you have in your hand are what's actually going to be replaced, right? So it's a swap. Now, there's a few things I'm not still too sure on. Like, does your opponent now have your cards in their deck? Because it does say replace, but I don't think it's switch. So maybe they just disappear and you replace them with cards from your opponent's starting deck, right? So it's just that's how I imagine this wording. Like, you just lose your hand, you get a bunch of cards from their starting deck, they have a cheaper cost. Now, this is information. You now know what your opponent is playing, but probably by turn 3, you had that figured out anyways. So clearly, one thing I've seen a lot covering data mines is when a card is probably going to be on the weaker side, it tends to get a power buff, close to its release. And here we have Loki going from a 3/4 to a 3/5. That certainly helps the card. It's actually crazy, especially with Spider-Man just being changed to a 3/5, how many premium statted 3/5s there are in the game. Now, you're First thought might be Silver Surfer. I don't think it's going to work with Silver Surfer because you don't know what you're going to get from your opponent. But it's going to work with Collector. It's going to work with Quinjet because that's going to discount the cards even further so long as they're not already at 1 cost. And Collector's going to get those buffs. And I thought maybe Sentinel just as an early play because you want to keep your hand full so you can replace as many cards as possible, have a lot to play in those final turns. Sentinel is going to give you value while you're waiting to draw your Loki or play your Loki. I still don't know about this card, so this Loki is going to be the season pass for September. I am much more excited about the other cards coming out in September. I'm still definitely going to pick up Loki. I think it'll be a lot of fun, but I don't know how he's going to fare in the power levels. That's why I'm putting him as a 3 for now, now that I know what I know, not how he previously I thought he would work. He has amazing variants, though. He's got so many cool variants, such an iconic character, so I am stoked to see him in the game. I'm just not totally sold on his ability. And lastly, we have my most anticipated Datamine card getting nerfed already, ALIOTH. ALIOTH used to be 5/5. That was very short-lived. It is now a 6/5. And it makes a lot of sense. This card was absolutely bonkers. It has the ability of on reveal, destroy all enemy cards played here this turn, including unrevealed cards. So forget about your on reveals. Now, it still works that way. It's still a really powerful effect. If you can imagine, if you're winning one location, you locked it up with like Professor X or something like that, you just got to play this at a location that you have a little bit more power or be under 5 power from winning, and you're going to destroy all of your opponent's stuff. I don't even know what you could counter this with, like other than like a Cosmo armor, right? Of course, those are going to save the day, but you have to preemptively set those up. If you don't have a setup and the ALIOTH player has priority, you're getting wrecked. It's going to be such a big swing in the late game. And I could see this really working well. I don't even have her here, but with magic as a way to generate an additional turn so that you could, I don't know, play ALIOTH and then Arnim Zola. Wouldn't that be nuts? You destroy everything your opponent played at one lane, and then maybe they're trying to overcompensate at other lanes to win the game. And then you Arnim Zola it and it goes to the other lanes and destroys stuff. And that's still 5 power going to the other 2 lanes. That's still a decent little boost. I could see that working. I was also thinking Kang might have his time to shine because originally the thing that I missed in my last Datamine video was Daredevil with the old ALIOTH because it was a 5 cost. Well, I mean, we could still technically maybe do that if we use some kind of ramp. That would still be pretty good, like Electro, Psylocke, anything like that. Yeah, X23 coming out soon. But well, that's just considered as the 6 cost. If you use Kang, then your opponent's board is probably filled to the point that they only have a few spots to play cards now, or pretty telegraphed line of play. You get to see where they do want to commit that play. You ALIOTH there, or if you have to pivot, you go somewhere else if you think they're going to pivot. But you got to make that game time decision anytime you play Kang. But I could see a lot of value in actually playing Kang with ALIOTH, which is pretty fun. And another one is Jean Grey, because of course you want to force your opponent to play cards at a certain location so that you can destroy them. That could be really nasty. It might be a bit risky trying to set that up for your turn 6 though, so I don't know if that's going to be the best. Again, you know what, I'm giving this card 4 stars. I even think it could be like a 4.5. It still seems like a very, very strong effect, game swinging effect. It's like Shang-Chi, but it doesn't need that condition of being over 9 power. Like, it's just, if I pick the right lane, you're getting wrecked, you're getting rolled with a few counters that your opponent can carry. But overall, I think it's going to be a strong card. I'm still stoked for it. I'm almost a little bit sad, even though I think it would have been absolutely broken at a 5 cost. I was just so hyped for it there. But this makes a lot more sense. This is also going to be the first card coming out in that week, and it is the only card that's going to be Series 5 in September. It's going to cost 6,000 tokens. The other 2, which is Mobius and Ravonna Renslayer, so they are going to cost 3,000 tokens. They're Series 4 releases, and they're going to be in the later weeks of that month. So it's going to go Loki, ALIOTH, and then I think Ravonna, and then Mobius at the end. One of those 2, I don't know exactly which. But let's head over to Snap.fan to see a few more Datamine details. All right, so here is a great article that's on Snap.fan. I'll have the link in the description below, but it's just covering the cards. Here we have them. September, right? September, Loki, ALIOTH, Renslayer, Mobius, okay? And then after that, we have October. Now, check this out, okay? So we have ELSA, like we talked about earlier. We got the Black Knight, which is also going to be different for sure, because look at right beside, we have Ebony Blade, which is on reveal. If your Black Knight is here, destroy the highest power enemy card here. Interesting. Interesting. But we don't know what the Black Knight does. Did he just generate the blade? What happens here? It's going to be interesting to see what happens. And then we got the Werewolf by Night. Does not have any text, any proper even titling, no stat line. So I don't know, but we're going to get details soon. I mean, we have actually had this information last time. I just choose to typically omit this type of information until they're a little bit more grounded. The Datamines are a little bit more grounded, but unfortunately, we're not quite there yet. We didn't get that juicy info this time around. Then you got Nico Minoru. Very, very cool. And then Man Thing, which, come on, Ted. It's Ted. Let's go. I'm fired up for Ted to join the game. He looks like a 4.6. Hey, that's a decent stat line. Ted, what else do you got for me? Let's find out. So my challenge for you guys, if you're in the Berryverse Discord, if you're not, what are you doing? Jump in. I got the link in the description below. We're talking about custom cards. We're doing all kinds of things. Datamines, balance patches, everything. But for right now, the challenge is to take these characters and the stat lines that we have available. Okay, so basically I'm looking at Ted as a 4.6. Keep that. And ELSA as a 1.1. Let's keep those, okay? But generate some potential abilities that you could see that are thematic to this character. And then in a week or two, I'll take a few of the cool ideas that were generated in the Berryverse and I'll feature them in a video. Okay, that's the plan. So then also I wanted to talk about a few more things. So it looks like right now they're all going to be Series 5. That could change though. That could change. One thing I'm disappointed about, and I'll just say it right now, is that this month all the cards were released as Series 5 and there's no series drops. That's a bad move. Bad move. Team Second Dinner should have done one or the other. It just makes a lot of sense. I don't know why they're doing that, especially after the recent economic changes are just brutal. That's got to get figured out. Hopefully we see more moving forward. Otherwise, we got the Conquest Reward is this awesome Odin. Looks really rad. And these season pass variants look awesome. There's this new studio that's making a lot of art. I think they absolutely kill it. And then these are the spotlights. So September 3rd, I don't think that date is actually accurate, but the first week of September is going to be Ghost Spider, Null, and Jeff. And the reason there's 3 cards being featured is because Loki is the season pass card and his season pass variant will be in the season track. So that's the cards that are available then. And then the week after we have details on, it's going to be ALIOTH, Hitmonkey, and Snowguard. That's kind of weird to me. That feels bad. It's like taking the strongest card and then putting it with the weakest one in the game, Snowguard. So there's going to be that gamble. But Hitmonkey's a pretty good card, so maybe it's not too bad. But that is going to be the second week of September. And then after that, it's going to be Renslayer and Mobius. And they got their Dan Hips seem to be the spotlight variants, which look really cool. I want that alligator Loki. Let's go. The rest of this article, go check it out. It's got details on all the new variants, titles, balance changes. There wasn't a whole lot, but again, that Spider-Man is kind of fire. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about some of these Datamine cards, and let me know which card in September you're planning on picking up, and definitely jump in the Berryverse Discord to share some of your custom card ideas. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.